Hello everyone, this is Kaushik, and like we promised, we are back with the first video that we have. This is about a book called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. So we have squeezed this book into 5 important points that we feel are important in this. The first point is the nature of luck. So when we see successful people, what the author is trying to say is we always try and think that whatever this person has achieved in their life is only because of the credibility that they have, and we tend to forget the nature of luck into it. For understanding this, a simple example is obviously told by the author in this. Let's get into it. In 1968, there were close to 303 million high school students around the world, out of which 18 million lived in the US itself. 270,000 lived in Washington state, out of which 100,000 lived in the Seattle area, and only about 300 of them attended the Lakeside High School. So we start with 303 million and end with 300 students. 1 in a million high school students attended the high school that had the combination of cash and foresight to buy a computer, and Bill Gates happened to be one of them. And Gates is not even shy about this fact. If there had been no Lakeside, there would have been no Microsoft itself. And this was told by Bill Gates himself in a graduating speech that he had given in 2005. So the point number 2 is, you could be wrong 99% in your life and still be successful. And there are examples for that. So let's get to that. Walt Disney's first studio went bankrupt. His films were monstrously expensive to produce. By 1930s, Disney had produced more than 400 cartoons. Some were decent, but most of them lost a fortune. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs changed everything for them. The $8 million it earned in the first 6 months in 1938 was an order of magnitude higher than anything the company had earned previously. An Oscar turned Walt Disney from famous to a full-blown celebrity. By 1938, he had produced several hundreds of films, but to put it in business terms, the 83 minutes of Snow White were all that mattered. At the Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting held in 2013, Warren Buffett said that he owned close to 400 to 500 stocks during his lifetime, but made most of his money only out of 10 of them. So basically, it's not whether you're right or wrong that's important, but how much money you make when you're right and how much money you lose when you're wrong. That's important. You could be wrong half of the time and still make a fortune. Remember that. So the third point is save and just save. Some save for buying a car, some save for purchasing a house for a down payment or retirement. But savings actually doesn't require a goal of purchasing something. The biggest gift that savings can give you is the flexibility to wait and pounce at the right opportunity. It gives you time, and that is priceless. So let's get to the example of this. 11,35,261. This is the number of students that gave UPSC in the year of 2019. These many cleared the prelims. This is the number of people who cleared the mains. These many cleared the interviews. And these many actually got into the UPSC civil exams. They cleared the exams basically. This is just one of the exams out of the thousands of exams that take place around the world. That's your competition. Intelligence is not a valuable advantage in the world that's become so connected, but flexibility is. Having more control over your time and options is becoming one of the most valuable abilities in the world. Think about it. Point number 4 is the power of compounding. So let's get to the examples for better understanding. Warren Buffett's net worth was $84.5 billion at the age of 90 in the year 2020. Out of that, 84.2 billion was accumulated after his 50th birthday. So basically, he made most of his fortune after the age of 50. He started when he was 10 years old. Can't even believe that. Even if his skill is investing, but his secret is time. That's the power of compounding, and that's how it works. So with this, we come to the final point. Define your game before you play. Don't get convinced or influenced by people who are playing a different game altogether. Doesn't make sense, right? So with the examples, you'll understand this in a better manner. So let's get to that. Cisco stock rose to 300% in 1999 to a $60 per share valuation. At this valuation, the company was valued at $600 billion in 1999. At this rate, it would bypass the US economy in the next 20 years. This stock was only for day traders to earn money out of it and not for long-term investors. And a lot of long-term investors lost a lot of money in this because they didn't know their own game. This was not their game. That is how you define your game and play your game and not get influenced by others. So a second example to this would be a lawyer wanting to be a partner at a managing firm. Imagine that. Would have to maintain an appearance like a car, a suit, compared to a writer who's writing in his house. He can write in his pajamas, right? So you actually have to understand the game that you're playing and the time horizon that you have in your hand. Don't get influenced by others. This is what the author is trying to say, and it's a beautiful thought. Think about it. So with this, we put an end to this video wherein I tell you the 5 important points of this book, The Psychology of Money, which I love, by the way. There are going to be a lot more videos coming in of different books that I like. For this video, I'm going to end this video on a happy note with a dialogue that I loved from this book, by the way. It goes like, earning money is not always about what you know. It's about the behavior. And behavior, my friend, is very difficult to teach, even to smart people. Think about it.